human being, much less for us Christians, can say that he is responsible only for himself, that his neighbor's problems is none of his business. Otherwise, he speaks like Cain in the Old Testament, who say, I am not my brother's keeper. And he acts like the rich man in today's gospel, who was so softened by his lavish lifestyle that he became totally insensitive and neglectful to the presence of the beggar at his gate. He treated him as if he were less than nothing. Lazarus was a very poor man. He was dressed in rags, full of sores, and didn't even have a crumb of bread to eat. He had no friends except the dogs of the street. He was in misery, and the misery of a person without a friend. On the other hand, we had a very rich man. He lived in a mansion, wore the most expensive clothes, and ate like the king every day. And yet in the eyes of God, in the eyes of Jesus, this rich man was the poorer. How could that be? Let me illustrate with a story. There was this man who parked his brand new car on the street and went off to do some business. When he returned, he found a poor little boy, 12 years old plus, examining his car. When the man put the key in the car door, the boy asked, "Is that your car, uncle?" "Yes," the man replied. "It's beautiful. How much was that?" "Well, I don't know." "You bought it and you can't remember how much you paid for it." "No, I didn't buy it. My brother gave it to me as a present." And after the pause, the boy said, "I wish that The man thought that he knew exactly what this little boy was going to say. "I wish that I had a brother like that." But when the little boy finished the sentence, he was caught totally by surprise. He didn't say that at all. What he said was quite different. The boy said, "I wish I would be a brother like that." And the man thought, there I was in my fancy dress, with the keys of a brand new car in my hand. And there he was in rags, empty-handed. He was far richer than I was. And I then asked him to come with me for a drive in my car, but he declined. But I kept on insisting, and he got in and we drove around. After going about 6 kilometers, the boy asked if I would drive past his house, a flat on the 4th floor of a building. He got up and ran upstairs, and after a short while, he came down again, carrying his little brother in his arms. This little brother was crippled. Pointing to the new car, he said, "You see that car? One day, I am going to buy you a car like that. We will go for a trip, and you will be able to see all the beautiful sights for yourselves." This man was deeply moved. And he said, "Come, your little brother is going to see all these sights right now. Both of you come inside the car. We go now for another drive." The man drove them to a big toy store in a shopping center, and he said the next few hours were the happiest of my life. So sisters and brothers, our Lord's story is neither a condemnation of wealth nor an approval of poverty. Today there are still many rich people and many poor people, and also many rich countries and many poor countries. Such an equal distribution of wealth, such great social injustice. But our Lord is simply trying to point out that in the eyes of God, compared with Lazarus, the rich man is suffering from the worst kind of poverty, the poverty of the heart. Even dogs come and lick Lazarus' sores, which means even dogs are showing more compassion in their way than the rich man ever did. The rich man's heart in today's gospel is like stoned, hard and empty, with no feeling of love and compassion, totally insensitive. And this is what the young man with the brand new car realizes, that in the eyes of God, it is not what we carry in our wallet or in our bank account, but what we carry in our hearts that make us rich. The sin of the rich man was not a sin of commission, that is doing something he shouldn't have done. It was a sin of omission, that is not doing something he should have done. He did not show any care and concern at all to the poor man. He did not share some of his riches with the poor and the needy. Wealth is relative. What may seem like scraps to us represents a means of survival for many people. Saint Teresa of Calcutta says these words: the biggest disease in the world today is the feeling of being unwanted, just like Lazarus at the gate. And the greatest evil in the world is the lack of love, the terrible indifference towards one neighbor. So sisters and brothers, our eternal destiny hinges on the way we love and on the way we use our wealth. Someone says our true wealth consists not in what we keep, but in what we give away in charity. So let us be generous in our giving and sharing with the poor and the needy. There are still many Lazarus around us and in our society.